Muranga Senator this morning during the interview at Citizen TV morning show has hinted that plans are on top gear for Raila Odinga to have the seat for Prime Cabinet Secretary or Prime Minister constitutionally, and currently that Prime Minister Raila Odinga is the only candidate that William Ruto is hanging on. The senator further went and said that if indeed the headline by the Standard Media Group Gazette this morning says that Raila will be the co-president to William Ruto, meaning Raila will have some more position in government, suggesting that there is a coming reshuffle in government that is underway for principal secretaries first, where Azimio or the ODM party and members of ally to Raila Odinga will get the bigger cake of the government. Now, Raila senator said, if indeed these are the plans, then it may come to pass. And Ruto has no option than to hang on Raila Odinga. Senator NYUTU further went and said, President Ruto has no option but to hang on Raila Odinga and to bank on Raila Odinga for him to secure the 2027 general election. Further, the senator said, that President William Ruto, if indeed gives Raila powers, then Raila will be more powerful than even the president himself. That Ruto now will be a ceremonial president, but the powers belong to Baba Raila Odinga. You know, yesterday, coming to this is that yesterday during a church service in Machakos, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua also said that President Ruto, his only hope is Raila Odinga, saying the life support machine for President William Ruto currently depends on Raila Odinga, meaning if Raila walks away of president, the president will be nothing but just a ceremonial president. Remember also, Rigathi Gachagua, during the same church service yesterday, said that President Ruto now is the minority. If indeed the Kenya Kwanza ally MPs who are allied to Rigathi Gachagua, the former deputy president, walk out of parliament, it means the numbers for the UDA will be less. Thus, Azimio, with that number of coalition, will be the majority in the parliament and both in Senate. Thus, it conquers the president's popularity in parliament, both in the lower house and the upper house. Here is what Senator Joy Nyote said on Citizen TV, and a clip of what former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said yesterday when he was attending a church service in Machakos.
I had commented on. Some I have all the reason to believe what the Standard has on its headline, that Raila is just about to be made co-president. And I even dare to say that should these arrangements come to pass, Raila will not just be a co-president, but he'll be more powerful than President Ruto in that particular arrangement. And why do I say that? I say that some because as we speak, as things stand now, President Ruto has no other plan other than hanging on Raila Amolo Odinga. And so whatever Raila asks, he will get it from William Ruto. And if allow me again, my friend, Honorable Jane Kagiri, has, of course, explained why we need to, to co-opt Raila Amolo Odinga into government, and whatever arrangement may be under the NADCOL, recommendations. And of course, our argument is true that we need to be inclusive in government, and that Raila controls or had, a total vote that was almost half of the total vote cast in 2022. But what maybe Honorable Jane did not say is, if Raila is to be co-opted into government because he controls about half of the country, President Ruto was able to gain about 7.2 million with a difference of 200,000. Then the other question then should be, what about those that voted for William Ruto and who are not supporting him now? Because if you are saying you want to co-opt Raila into government because he has a following of over half of the country, then what do you do with those like Rigathi Gachagua, who also control a big chunk of the vote that President Ruto got? And so I think if we were to get into this particular conversation, then we should look at it in a much deeper way. Yeah. Because as we speak, President Ruto does not have the support of the 7.2 million Kenyans that voted for him.
How do you determine that?
Of course, we have not done a vote, but of course we know where he got his vote, and we know, of course, what people are saying in the regions that, President Ruto was voted in. If opinion polls were to be held, and maybe that has not been held, but of course, there has been a lot of changes, which if we were to do this, when probably would need an opinion poll to see who supports who before we start now, before we decide who is supposed to be co-opted into government, depending on their support. For the Catholic bishops, who spoke yesterday about early campaigns, and again, and I'm not hammering, Jen Kagirish is my friend. Again, he has not been able to answer your question. These early campaigns, who started these? Where are these early campaigns coming from? And what people may not want to say, especially people who support the government, is that these early campaigns have started with the president himself. And that is what you may not hear from however much you pester from those that support the president. And so I think the Catholic bishops are right, and I don't think they're doing politics. The other thing I would want to say is that the particular bishop that read that statement, had it been Archbishop Anthony Moheria, then everybody, especially on the side of the president, would start saying this tribalism is because, So we are happy when it is said by somebody who is not from the region.
Huyu Raila Odinga akimwambia Ruto amuoshe miguu atamuosha, because amekwama. Ni kama mgonjwa akiwa katika ICU ako kwa life support machine. Life support machine ya William Ruto today ni Raila Odinga. Ikizimwa,
Sunday evening, Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya encountered an hostile reception at the home of the late Malava Member of Parliament Moses Malulu Ijendi, leading to a swift departure under tense circumstances. Natembeya had arrived at Ijendi's residence to pay his respect following the MP's ultimately demise. After a brief illness, the atmosphere turned volatile when a segment of the gathered residents reacted adversely to Natembeya's attempt to address them, as he engaged the crowd with his characteristic Taoist slogan and emphasized the importance of holding leaders accountable. A faction began chanting slogans in support of President William Samoei Ruto, disturbing the proceedings. The situation escalated rapidly as some individuals resorted to throwing objects towards the governor, compelling his security details to intervene. Natembeya was promptly escorted to his vehicle and departed the promise to prevent further escalation. This incident underscored the deep-seated political tension in the region. Governor Natembeya has been an outspoken critic of key figures such as Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, accusing them of neglecting the interest of the Mulembe community. His presence at the gathering appeared to have exacerbated existing political rift, culminating in the confrontation. In the aftermath, Kakamega Governor Ferdinand Barasa condemned the unruly behavior and called for decorum during the mourning period. He emphasized the need to honor the late MP Njende's legacy by maintaining peace and respect throughout the funeral arrangement. George Natembeya addressed the incident, refuting claims that he was forcibly expelled from the venue. Through his social media, he labeled the report as desperate propaganda, asserting that no one would chase him from what he considered his own turf. He shared a footage displaying the substantial number of mourners attentively listening to his address.
Unyamaze, tulia uongee.
Familia marehemu mjambo. Watu wa Malaba mjambo. Uko wazima? Mimi nimekuja leo, sitakuja kupiga siasa. Nimekuja kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Njende alikuwa kiongozi wa taifa la Kenya. Na pia alikuwa kiongozi ambaye tulikuwa tunaheshimu kama watu wa Western. Watu wetu, Mheshimiwa ni mwanasiasa. Ndio? Na mnajua siasa ni maisha. Kuna wengine wanapiga siasa wanajipanga, sisi tujaribu kuongea mambo yanahusu watu wetu, wasema ni siasa tusiongee. Na jambo la kuudhi ni kwamba unapata wenye wanapiga kelele ni Waluya tu kama sisi. Kuna matatizo mengi sana. Mimi sitakuja hapa kutusi mtu. Ama namna gani watu yangu? Sitakuja kutusi mtu kweli?
Babu muongoze.
Sisi kama jamii ya Muluya, sisi ni namba 2 katika taifa la Kenya. Katika idadi ya watu ni namba 2, si ndio? Lakini wakati masuala ya taifa yanaongelewa, Muluya kwa meza hayuko. Kuna watu ambao wametupangia njama kwamba hiyo meza tuzoe kufika huko. Unawajua hao watu? Sisi tumesema 2027 tumefanya nini? Sisi Waluya tuki watu waoga. Viongozi wetu ndio wamekuwa waoga. Lakini mimi nimesema niko mbele. Waluya mtanishika mkono. Ndio. Wakati ya watu wachache wanakula na wengi wanaumia, wakati imekwisha. Wakati sisi tunauza miwa, lori mzima ni pesa ngapi? Pesa mingi sana. 5,000, ndio? Lakini ikifika kwa duka kilo moja ni pesa ngapi? 200. Lakini mkulima anapata shilingi 5 peke yake. Mnaona hiyo kunyanyaza? Kukata miwa lazima uongane, si ndio? Kuja wakati miwa inakaa kwa shamba lazima utoe 3,000 kwa trailer. Miwa yenyewe haipimiwi kwa shamba, inapikiwa kwa factory. Mtu mkulima Muluya ameumia, amelia taifa la Kenya. Tumesema tumechoka, si ndio? Mambo ya ukabila, mambo ya kuheko, mambo ya mapendeleo, mambo ya umaskini, mambo ya vifo, mambo ya magonjwa, mambo ya utawala mbaya. Sisi Waluya tuli watu waoga. Viongozi wetu ndio wamekuwa waoga. Lakini mimi nimesema niko mbele. Waluya mtanishika mkono? Wakati ya watu wachache wanakula na wengi wanaumia, wakati imekwisha. Mtu Mluya ameumia, amelia taifa la Kenya. Tumesema tumetoka, ndio fanyaje? Tunasema hivi, watu wetu kuja kuongea siasa siku nyingine, si ndio? Mimi sitaki vita, naona watu wamejipanga hapa kwa kuleta mambo ya mapendeleo, mambo ya umaskini, mambo ya vifo, mambo ya magonjwa, mambo ya utawala mbaya. Tumesema 2027 tumefanya nini?
Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei has recently voiced his perspective on the political landscape leading up to the Kenyan's 2027 presidential election, particularly concerning the potential endorsement and alliances. While addressing crowd in Nandi County, Cherargei directly addressed the former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, rumored the presidential aspirations. It emphasized the formidable position of President William Ruto in the upcoming general election.
William Ruto kama William Ruto ni chama yao? Hapana, wawache hiyo mchezo. Waambie Wakenya agenda yao ni nini. Sasa Matiang'i ni nani? Kidogo tu sana. Hata akiomba MC hapa kifia hawezi chaguliwa chairman ya Catholic. Wacha NCNC ni kitu kubwa. Kwanza wakati alikuwa minister wa Interior, aliua vijana wetu, akarusha Yala, akarusha yao Savo, akarusha ile nini river ya Garissa. Kwanza kama yeye alikuwa minister wa Interior, ajijibu makosa yenye alifanya. Mauaji ilifanyika hata hizi wote. Mpaka kulikuwa na container Nairobi. Walikuwa wanaua vijana wetu kwa container. Hao wote waliuawa under the watch of Matiang'i. Sasa Matiang'i, hata nimeuliza watu yangu wa Kisima rafiki waniambia hata mzee ametaa ama hata chairman ya nyumba 10 hawezi hata pata kura mbili. Sasa ataomba kitu ya
Cherargei asserted that President Ruto remains the dominant candidate for the 2027 election. He highlighted that with the anticipation support of opposition leader Raila Odinga, Ruto's re-election bid would be significantly strengthened. Cherargei suggested that ODM's potential support could lead to his backing of Ruto, thereby consolidating political support and dismissing the prospect of other contenders.
Wengine wanasema ati William Ruto sijui ni hapana. William Ruto anakula 10 bila break. Na hii 27 is a done deal. Ukiona Kalonzo ni mtu ya kushinda William Ruto kweli? Mtu mwenye anazunguka hapo tu hapo Ukambani atashinda William Ruto? Ana agenda, Unaona ubaya watu agenda yao ni William Ruto. Juzi wana launch chama, hata sijajua hiyo jina ya chama ndio wali launch Nairobi. For the 6 hours walikuwa wanasema William Ruto, William Ruto, William Ruto. William Ruto kama William Ruto ni chama yao. Hapana, waache hiyo mchezo. Waambie Wakenya agenda yao ni nini.
Gerard Gay further advised that opposition figures considering a challenge to Ruto in 2027 should contemplate forming a coalition allied with the presidency candidacy. He expressed confidence in that such alliance would be more viable given Ruto's strengthened position with Odinga's support. While Fred Matiang'i has not officially declared his intention to run for presidency, reports indicate that he is among several political figures contemplating to run for the 2027 Beira election seat. Other potential candidates include Busia Senator Okiya Omtata, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, People's Liberation Party leader Martha Karua. Gerard Gay remarks suggest that any candidate aiming to contest the presidency should carefully assess the current political dynamics, especially in light of potential alliance that could significantly influence the election's outcome.
Na mimi nataka niseme Kenya ni moja. Wale wanasikia wivu, wale viongozi wa kikabila wanasikia vibaya kwa sababu wanaona ya kwamba Rais William Ruto analeta Kenya pamoja. They are not happy about it. But I want to thank the president kwa sababu juu ya hii broad base kila Mkenya anasikia hapo ndani ya serikali. Sasa hivi tunapoongea, na mimi nataka niulize wa Kenya tuache hao viongozi wa kabila na wafitini. Kwa sababu kama Rais William Ruto na Raila Odinga wameungana na wanafanya kazi pamoja na walipigana 2022 kwa kiti ya urais, they were the biggest protagonists for the seat of the president. Watu wengine wanasema ati William Ruto sijui ni hapana. William Ruto anakula 10 bila break. Na hii 27 is a done deal. Ukiona Kalonzo ni mtu ya kushinda William Ruto kweli? Mtu mwenye anazunguka hapo tu hapo Ukambani atashinda William Ruto? Ana agenda. Unaona ubaya watu agenda yao ni William Ruto. Juzi wana launch chama, hata sijajua hiyo jina ya chama ndio wali launch Nairobi. For the 6 hours walikuwa wanasema William Ruto, William Ruto, William Ruto. William Ruto kama William Ruto ni chama yao. Hapana, waache hiyo mchezo. Waambie Wakenya agenda yao ni nini. Sasa Matiang'i ni nani? Kidogo tu sana. Hata akiomba MC hapa kisia wezi chaguliwa chairman ya Catholic. Wacha NCNC ni kitu kubwa. Kwanza wakati akiwa minister wa interior, aliua vijana wetu akarusha Yala, akarusha yao Savo, akarusha ile nini river ya Garissa. Kwanza kama yeye alikuwa minister wa interior angejibu makosa yenye alifanya. Mauaji ilifanyika hata hizi wote. Mpaka kulikuwa na container Nairobi. Walikuwa naua vijana wetu kwa container. Wote waliuawa under the watch of Matiang'i. Sasa Matiang'i, hata nimeuliza watu yangu wa Kisima rafiki waniambia hata mzee ametaa ama hata chairman ya nyumba 10 hawezi hata pata kura mbili. Sasa ataomba kiti ya rais anaombea na yeye mwenyewe hata alizima hii TV zenu. Unakumbuka hata wakati akiwa minister alizima TV karibu mwezi mmoja. Na Yesu akirudi na tukua tunaona TV. Sasa angefanya nini? So hii hakuna kitu. Sasa Matiang'i is a paper taker. Hawa ni watu hata yeye mwenyewe atakuomba hiyo kitu. Wacha akuje kwa kiwanja ndio atajua anaume ni nani. Sasa Matiang'i ni nani? Kidogo tu sana. Hata akiomba MC hapa kisia wezi chaguliwa chairman ya Catholic. Wacha NCNC ni kitu kubwa. Kwanza wakati akiwa minister wa interior, aliua vijana wetu akarusha Yala, akarusha yao Savo, akarusha ile nini river ya Garissa. Kwanza kama yeye alikuwa minister wa interior angejibu makosa yenye alifanya. Mauaji ilifanyika hata hizi wote. Mpaka kulikuwa na container Nairobi. Walikuwa naua vijana wetu kwa container. Wote waliuawa under the watch of Matiang'i. Sasa Matiang'i, hata nimeuliza watu yangu wa Kisima rafiki waniambia hata mzee ametaa ama hata chairman ya nyumba 10 hawezi hata pata kura mbili. Sasa ataomba kiti ya rais anaombea na yeye mwenyewe hata alizima hii TV zenu. Unakumbuka hata wakati akiwa minister alizima TV karibu mwezi mmoja. Na Yesu akirudi na tukua tunaona TV. Sasa angefanya nini? So hii hakuna kitu. Sasa Matiang'i is a paper taker. Hawa ni watu hata yeye mwenyewe atakuomba hiyo kitu. Wacha akuje kwa kiwanja ndio atajua anaume ni nani.
In a recent development, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has taken decisive action in responding to an illegal garbage dumping incident outside Stima Plaza, the headquarters of the Kenya Power in Nairobi. To senior county official Dr. John Toiti, the acting director of Revenue Administration, and Mr. Sankale Lempaka, the director of Debt Collection Unit, have been interdicted for their alleged involvement in ordering the dumping. The incident, which occurred on February 24, was reported as a retaliation act amid a financial dispute between the Nairobi County and the Kenya Power. Governor Sakaja condemned the act, stating that it was unacceptable and did not reflect the county's value. He emphasized that such action undermined Nairobi's reputation as a global hub and reiterated his commitment to maintain order and cleanliness in the city. Following the incident, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation (DCI) launched an investigation into the matter. Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja confirmed that the law enforcement agency initiated an investigation immediately after the illegal dumping was reported. We revealed that 3 individuals, Augustine Otieno, Moses Gitari, and Alice Okare, were arrested and charged with sabotage, robbery with violence, and illegal waste disposal. These individuals were reportedly operational staff who acted on directives from a higher authority within the county administration. Directorate of Criminal Investigation Mohammed Amin added that the Kenya Power official had reported the incident at Parklands Police Station, prompting swift action for the authorities. He assured that thorough investigations were underway and that those found irresponsible would face the prosecution. In a development report, Chief Officer of Environment Godfrey Musiria, who has been at the forefront of Nairobi cleanup effort, has reportedly gone missing from public eye. It is reported that Musiria was admitted to a local hospital around the same time when the dumping incident escalated, and the DCI has begun its investigation. He claimed to have fallen ill during one of the cleanup operations. Sakaja has expressed regret over the incident and apologized to the public, stating that such action would never have occurred under his administration. Democratic Action Party of Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa has criticized President William Ruto for referring to leaders who oppose as fraud, saying such remarks undermine the office of the president. Eugene said the opposition will continue to hold the president and the Kenya Kwanza government to account to ensure it acts responsible. Speaking at the Kapsitet area on the outskirts of Kitale during the funeral of Matthew Wandati, a Strathmore University student who was found murdered, Eugene emphasized that the opposition leader has agreed to remove policies implemented by the Kenya Kwanza government that oppress ordinary Kenyans after the next general election. Eugene added that as the opposition, they will continue to remind the public of the negative impacts of the policies enforced by the Kenya Kwanza government, especially in areas like education and the economy. He stressed that aside from criticizing the government, their role is to ensure accountability and ensure that the interests of ordinary Kenyans are respected in the next administration.